Our Rhino looks pretty happy, doesn't she, in here? I can't believe she's pregnant already. Like, we're gonna have a baby Rhino. That is so cool. And she's there just flipping her tire around. I am concerned that none of the guests are over here. I feel like they can't see them for some reason. And maybe because of the barrier. I don't know why, though. But maybe they don't... Maybe they see this as, like, solid, the fencing. Whereas, obviously, you can see through it. It's not ideal, though, because no one is coming this way. And it's supposed to be the most appealing species we have in the zoo. We've got, yeah, so I don't think that's working. I think we may need to change the barriers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just change part of it, and then we can see if that fixes the issue. So if we pause the game and then delete the barriers in like this section and just put some glass here or something, that should tell us whether it's a problem that we can actually fix, or if it's I think genuinely I think that's the issue, though. I think they're just assuming that they can't. I'm assuming that they just can't see it. So if I put glass in, it doesn't have to look good. We can just do it like this for now. If I delete these fences as well, something like that, they'll be able to see. And then we'll see if the guests are drawn this way and actually look at it. Because if they do, we'll just replace the fencing with, like, we'll make the whole thing mud, basically, and put glass in. Which is absolutely fine. I don't mind doing that. We can even put the fencing on a low level. Oh, we've got a report as well. Ooh, only 4 stars for the Dama Gazelle. I wonder whether they were stressed or not. I hope not. Are people going to come this way? Oh, someone's expecting offspring. It's one of our tortoise. Oh my goodness. Look at this food as well. Wow, one of our tortoises is expecting offspring. What about the other one? No, she's not. Well, good job, guys. Got another tortoise on the way. We've already got a baby gazelle. And now we've got a baby tortoise as well. And that rhymes. And we've already got someone stood here looking at the rhino. I feel like that's what it is, because I feel like people are coming over here now more, and they've been here a little while and no one's done that, and also no one is going over this area to see them. I feel like this fence needs a revamp. I'm gonna revamp it, so we can always leave it. No, I think we'll change it the whole way around. Let's do that. We could even put in one-way glass, so it's a bit more ethical for them as well. So let's, basically, we're just going to change the fencing. Probably we can have this on the ground, because it still looks nice to have this in front. But we could do something like this embedded into the walls, and then the glass above. Something like that. Yeah, we're gonna do that now. Okay, I think this will work for the one side. We can go with this. I kind of want to see if we leave this like it is, will the guests come over to this side of the habitat, or will they not? You know, will they stay where they are? But I think they will. I think they'll make the journey over. And it seems like people are already like flocking this way. I'm also just going to adjust these so they're a little bit more spread out into a place where we don't see it. There we go. That seems good to me. Yeah, there's already so many more people coming this way now. All of these people are coming around. So yeah, I think they just couldn't see them before. But now we've got this one-way glass on as well, which I think is quite ethical to have that. Because from the rhino's perspective, they can't see anything anyway. So, and we've still got these low fences here, which I think are nice between the animals here. And then this one can stay the same. We're just going to change the front one on this side as well to match in with the other side. And that should hopefully draw all our guests this way. Okay, I think that works, and it makes the guests basically able to see them, which is what we're after. This can all stay the same. That doesn't really need to change as far as I'm aware. This is actually fine that it doesn't quite reach. I might just put another pillar in here just to block that off a little bit. But I think that's pretty decent. And crucially, can the rhinos escape? No, that one cannot escape. Can this one escape? No, it can't escape. Perfect. Okay, well, hopefully now, yeah, the guests can see them. They're all coming around here, which means they'll use our shops, which means we'll earn more money. And speaking of money, I think we have a loan. Yeah, I literally just forgot about this loan completely. But yeah, let's pay this off. Why not? Because we've got tons of money, and now we'll earn even more money every minute. So plenty of profit. And oh my goodness, we're about to have another baby. This Dama gazelle is about to give birth. Offspring imminent. Are you actually about to have a baby, or are you just drinking? Oh, there's a baby here already. It's not their baby though. This is the baby we saw, I believe. Yeah, no, it's still this one. It keeps coming up with the alert for this one. Just have a casual walk through the water. Please don't give birth in the water. I feel like that's not a good idea. Also, opening up the other, the other habitats a bit more with the glass, which should take the heat off these guys, because everyone was basically crowding around this habitat, and now hopefully they will, they'll move around it and look at the rhinos as well. Just had a nice dump. That's good. Right in front of everyone, so you're not that shy if you're happy to do that right there. Come on, have a baby. I think it's time. They're lying down. The baby! Yes! Let's have a look at you. Little precious thing. Oh, absolutely adorable. They are so adorable. Aww. Well, I think we should probably move on with the zoo and create the next area. And I'd like to use this space in here. We have some space before we get like a sheer cliff. On the other side, there's all the space to use. And I'm thinking, let's build, like we've got this over here, we've got a little frog hut. I want to build kind of a water, land, and air experience for our guests, where they're going to have all of the endangered animals that we have in exhibits. So if we look here, we have a list of anything that is extinct in the wild, critically endangered, or vulnerable. And there's not that many, and I think we can get these in here. So what I'm thinking, maybe not all of them, but at least most of them can go in the same area. I just want to create a bit of an interesting thing that we've not done this before. So let's create a bigger house than we usually would, because we've got the money. And to start with, I think let's get a couple of these that are swimming. So we've got the axolotl and the not the Herman's tortoise, the Diamondback terrapins, both swim. It's both like very watery habitats that they have. So let's put them in. I'm going to do them the same way that we've done them before. I think I'll create 3 exhibits in a line. Okay, I think this works. Now we've got a bit of a walkway here, so they're gonna come through. We've connected up to this the area we have out here for the guests, so they can come through here, or they can join from the path here, which also gives a bit more like connection for our zoo. And maybe in the middle we'll put another plant in here or something to tidy it up. And then they're gonna walk through this building, and they've got 3 exhibits here. So this is gonna be 1 animal in each of them. I'm just building large habitats for them. I think we might remove the connection on the outside. I believe these are 7-meter paths, yeah. And have it like this. And then we can have water. So those two animals live in water. Then we can have like a little PVC strip or something, and they move into the next area, and then it's like a few land exhibits, and then some flying ones at the end. I just think that would be cool to have the few, and you know, see how animals live in completely different habitats, you know. So here we've got an amphibian here and a reptile. I don't know what the fire salamanders look like, their exhibits. So I think what we might do is we might get the animals that we need. And for our axolotl, these live in groups of 1 to 5. They're completely promiscuous. So they're solitary in the wild, and they're happy to live alone in captivity. However, unless different in size, they're content with other axolotls nearby, provided there's sufficient food and space. So it seems reasonable. You know, they're going to have sufficient food and space. We could probably maybe we just get 1 female and 1 male for now, because there's only 1 female there. And then if we sort them by appeal, this is looking like our best male here. So let's get that male. And now we've got these 2. Let's put them into this habitat here. You can see this is completely water. Then for the Diamondback terrapins, let's have a look at them. So they live in groups of 1 to 8. They'll tolerate other terrapins nearby as long as there's plenty of space, and they live well together and occasionally interact. Although most social behavior occurs during the mating season. Ooh, I'm going to pause the game as well, or we're going to get alerts that these aren't the right conditions for them. So let's go Diamondback terrapin. And sort them by appeal. We've got a couple of good females here. Were they 1 to 8? Okay. In that case, let's get both of these females. And then probably... that looks like a good one. Oh, it's 11. I didn't look at the ages on them, but they live to 35. So they're pretty good. This one's 11, but that's still fine. I'd rather have the good genes. And this one as well from a breeding program. It's probably a good one to have. And then that's 4 of them. If we put them in there... I'm curious as to what the fire salamander's habitat looks like, because it's the only one I don't really know. I believe the Herman's tortoise just lives on land. The fire salamander, I imagine, will have water there, which might ruin my water-land plan. So 1 to 6, they're solitary in the wild, but they're tolerant if there's enough space, mates, and food. So if they may be aggressive if they're disputing territory. I'm wondering whether in this case we just have 2. Might be a better idea. There's 1 female anyway, so yeah, I think we're going to need 1 male, and it looks like this is the best one. So let's put them in here just to see what they look like. Yeah, they're quite a watery area, although that is still quite landy. It's not mostly water, so I think they'll be fine to go into our land section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of these into our trade center again and store them in there, because we don't want them in this section. And then I think let's get this water zone ready. Firstly, I'm going to just build this section of the building, and then we'll deal with what the animals actually need. And for that, I want to make sure that I'm using the right kind of materials. And seeing as these animals are going to be from all over, I'm tempted... We have a huge Africa section here. I'm tempted to keep it going with the mud and the wood, and maybe make this area out of the mud and the straw here, and maybe throw in some bamboo, because I feel like it's going to fit in very well with this section. And then this can be a very large Africa section that we have here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep it going with the mud, build this out, and then I kind of want to make a modular building that will keep expanding with other exhibits if and when we want to. For now, we're just going to put these 2 in with our lovely water animals in here. I wanted to use mud for the whole exterior of the building to tie it in with everything else, and I thought it was cool to have these little like windows. If you're walking along the path, you can see in and see what's in there and maybe be drawn into the building. And then on the inside, I wanted to have a completely different texture that's still sustainable, but it gives something different than just the mud aesthetic on the inside. And for this, the logs were perfect choice because it's still sustainable and it fits in the same theme. Okay, so we built a very rough shell of what we want. I'm gonna take out the axolotl from here, grab both of these and move them into this habitat, and then do the same again, where I'm gonna move both of them into this habitat. And that way we've got all of them basically spread out. And in fact, seeing as these guys can live in groups, I'm gonna pause the game because now they're not gonna be the right range. I'm wondering whether we treat this as a big tank, but we've got plenty of them. There weren't any more, were there? Axolotl. There was just, we were limited on females. Ah, okay, there's another one here. Okay, well, maybe let's get another female and another male of a similar age. And then we can put both of them into this one, let's say. And maybe we'll do another one with them on the other side, because I like the idea that they're spread across them. Seeing as they can live in small groups, that seems right to me. But we'll have 1 to 5. We'll maybe split them across. And as they're solitary, wasn't there one male on their own? Yeah. We'll get them and we'll send them into here. And then we have 5 axolotl in here. And, oh, really, it should be 1 female, not 1 male, shouldn't it? I'm just thinking, we're going to treat this, although it's not this in the game, we're going to treat it as if this is one big habitat. So seeing as the axolotls can be solitary, they're going to be happy living on their own anyway. But if we had a group of 5 of 3 males and 2 females, actually, I think they'd be okay because I don't think they fight with each other very much. They're not different in size and they're content with other axolotls nearby, providing there's sufficient food and space. Seeing as they're promiscuous anyway, they're not going to be worried about the mates. They'll all breed with the same ones anyway. I think having 5 spread across the habitats here is actually really, really good. It works out quite well. So this is what we're going to go with. And then we're going to do the same thing with the Diamondback terrapins. So we've got 1, 2. I think let's put them into here. And then 3 and 4. And these guys live in groups of up to 8, but they don't want to compete over mates. So they're promiscuous as well. But as long as there's plenty of space, they'll be fine together. In fact, it seems like that, seeing as they're promiscuous, I think they're exactly the same. So we could get up to 8 in here. Maybe we have a look for some more. I'd rather max out if we can and get as many breeding as possible. Oh, there's more males here. Let's get... This male is pretty good. We'll get this one and put them in there. And they can also live alone, 1 to 8. And then if we get some more females, we get another female, we'll put them in there. And then we can have another 2 just kind of slot in wherever. In fact, we could get these 2 males. Why not? Let's get the males here and send them in. Just spread across. Obviously, again, we've got plenty of both. We'll have these 2 males live together for now. But this is, again, one habitat. It's just one big habitat. So they have access to it. And they can swim between them. It's not divided. And we'll try and do something so you can't see the glass as well, because that would be, you know, you want it to look like one habitat if we can. Now we're getting loads of alerts that it's not the right humidity and everything. We do need to change that. So that's the only thing we need to do with these is we need to make sure that humidity and temperature are in the right place. At the minute, 15 to 20, I think 18 degrees would be better. And humidity needs to be 80 to 90%. So I'm going to put down 85. 85 there. That's pretty good. And then we're going to do that to all of these. So they're all going to be exactly the same. 18 degrees C and 85 humidity. And then for the Diamondback terrapins, they would like it to be 21 to 32. So let's say 26 degrees. And 65 to 80. I'm going to say 72% humidity. And we're going to do 26 and 72 for the other ones as well. Now, they're going to need power. That's one thing they're missing, and we will put that in. I think, again, we've got to put it on the roof for realism. They're missing power here. I want to put it kind of Probably at the back, if possible. It needs to be raised up as well, but that's okay. I'm going to have it shoot off the back like this, and then install some stairs for our staff. There we go. So there's a little ramp around the back for our maintenance people to get to it and sort it out. And then we do need a roof. The roof is going to be a bit annoying though, because once you put the roof on, it's then very difficult to decorate the inside, and we're not done decorating the inside. So I'm going to hold off on the roof just for now and try and decorate these so they look like how we want them on the inside. I'd like to have the wood aesthetic on the inside and then a nice mud aesthetic on the outside. And I like that you can see in through here. We've got these little portals into the habitat, which I think look very cool. Okay, I feel like that looks much better now from the inside. Just decorating them up with the internal customization panels and putting some wooden logs to separate them out, I think really helps. So I think next we want to add some internal decorations and put a roof on this place. And again, of those we want to use sustainable ones. So let's look at we've got organic and wood, and then we're going to say theme and choose a theme that we think matches. I actually think instead for the internal decoration, I'm going to do it in this style. So we'll try and get the animals like logos, because I think they're really cute, like the little pictures they have of them, and then have some education around. And then we're going to use the decorative logs, because I think these are really nice and they add a bit more light inside. And then we will also want some internal lights, but we should probably make them like red lights while they're inside, because I don't know whether I think a lot of animals don't see the red light as much, so I think that's a better shout. Please let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm happy to change it, but I'm pretty sure it's a good idea to use red lighting for animals who may be nocturnal or whatever. And it just, because the lights are going to be on all the time, I know they're not nocturnal, but they're not going to be able to sleep as well if they've got lights that are on all the time. Okay. I feel like that's pretty good. We're going to need some donation bins in there as well. Let's add these in. And I think probably just one per side is probably enough, realistically. And we're also going to need our education talk point. Now we've got them. And for this, I'm thinking maybe we put them here. I know it's in the entrance, but I think that could actually work okay. And have them there. And then this can be for the Axolotl. And we need to look at when we want to do them. And this can be for the Diamondback Terrapin. And let's just double check where we're at, because I believe this talk takes place in May. And this one is in July, right? July. Yes. But they're doing it off the back of these. So this is March. So maybe this should take over. And we should have maybe here. And then July be this one. And then we'll shove the rhinos ones back a little bit. So we've got July, August, September. The rain is horrible as well. I can't believe we've got so much rain. We haven't had rain in ages. And then October and November. And now this same educator can do all of these. I do want to double check on our staff to see how they're doing. Our vet is great. Keeper can be trained up. Educators are being trained up. We might as well train up security and pretty much everyone else. Have as high level staff as we can. But everyone seems pretty good. Generally, we're quite balanced out with workload and stuff. And I think this is cute on the inside. Let's put a roof on it though, so our people don't get absolutely soaked, because I feel like we're not doing them a good service here right now. Okay, that took ages to get the roof on, but we've done it now, and I feel like that looks okay. These solar panels are driving me insane, but I do like to have them on the roof because it's much more realistic, and they can get up there and access it. Even if they're less able, they're going to be able to use the ramp, get up there and access it. So I feel like that's somewhat of a success. Fortunately as well, we have all of the layouts for our axolotls, because we've researched them previously. So I think let's whack every single thing in here that we have, and they might as well be enjoying them. I think they're pretty much all underwater, because it does look a bit boring underwater for them. But once you add these in, it looks pretty cool. And we haven't even looked at them yet. So this will take them to 100% enrichment. I believe we don't have any for the terrapins, no. So let's get our vet researching them now, because we might as well get them on it. We've researched everyone else. Let's get these guys what they deserve. And then let's have a look at them. I'm excited. I want to see our little axolotls swimming around. So apparently we've got 2 in here. Where are you? Oh, there's one there. Okay. This is going to be a challenge. These guys are so small, it's very difficult to zoom in on them. But look, it's right there. Just chilling out. I don't know where the other one is. They're going to be a massive challenge for our guests to spot. But I guess, you know, that's part of the fun. You stay here, you search for an axolotl. And eventually you'll find one. Where's our other one? Oh, he's back there. Oh, okay. That one seems like it might be easier to look at. A slightly derpy face, but he's just chilling on a rock there, having a good time. Well, now these guys are in here and looking happy, and this building is actually built, although you can see it's modular. We can just keep expanding out this way, which I'm looking forward to. Now it's up and running, let's learn a little bit more about the axolotl. The axolotl is an amphibian found exclusively in freshwater lakes in Mexico, with only Lake Xochimilco remaining as their natural habitat. It's green and brown in color with dark speckles across the body. However, axolotls in the pet trade are often leucistic, which means they're white, or they come in a number of other vibrant color morphs. They have prominent gill fans protruding from their necks, a feature common in all salamander larvae, although due to their more aquatic lifestyle, the axolotl keeps these external gills. Its face is wide with small eyes and a large mouth, and they range between 15 centimeters and 45 centimeters in length, averaging around 300 grams in weight. So they're so small. The axolotl has the largest animal genome ever sequenced, 10 times larger than that of humans. Axolotls are carnivores, eating insects, mollusks, and small fish, which they suck into their mouth. The axolotl is named after Xolotl, the Aztec god of fire and lightning, so it's a pretty cool origin for your name. The axolotl has been largely researched because of its ability to regrow limbs and organs, which is such a cool trick. Axolotls are solitary in the wild and are happy living alone in captivity. However, unless different in size, they are content with other axolotls nearby, providing there's sufficient food and space for them all. If a male axolotl encounters a female, they'll initiate a courtship dance where they will both move in circles together. He will undulate his tail while the female moves closer towards him. The female individually lays hundreds of eggs between 2 hours and 2 days after mating, usually on plants and stones across a wide area. The larvae hatch after 10 to 14 days and begin feeding within hours of hatching. From this point on, they're fully self-sufficient. Axolotls, unlike other amphibians, do not undergo metamorphosis. They're pedomorphic, which means they retain the characteristics of juveniles for their whole life. And while they are technically capable of metamorphosing, they do not produce the hormones that initiate this process. While other salamanders will lose their gills and begin living on land, axolotls remain in their aquatic larval form. Unfortunately, due to habitat loss, the axolotl is critically endangered. Lake Shalko, one of their natural habitats, has been drained for human drinking water, and Lake Xochimilco has been reduced to a canal network. This has caused population fragmentation and hampers axolotl feeding, mating, and spawning behaviors, so they're being massively disturbed. There's currently only estimated to be between 50 and 1,000 axolotls left in the wild, so hopefully our breeding zoo here can boost their numbers up a little bit. And I'm hoping the rest of our animals are okay in this rain. Guests think the tickets are underpriced. Let's put the price up then. I think 20 and 10 is pretty decent at this point. We've got loads more people around here now. So I feel like our barriers have worked. They've done the trick. We'll draw people out. There's still a lot of people in this zone, but we can't do much about that. I would like to, if we could give them another way through, that would be ideal. I don't really want to have them go through the biodiversity zone though. And we've done that on both sides, so I've kind of boxed them into this straight walkway here. I think it's okay though. I don't think it's too bad. How are all our animals doing? Are they okay? I think if we look at our animals tab here, we should be able to see if there's any issues. But I'm pretty sure everyone's actually doing quite well. The zoo is functioning surprisingly well with me in charge. I wouldn't have thought that it would be doing okay. Now, while we're in here, I did say we're going to rename all the animals in this video, and we are. So let's go through and rename all of the animals we have in the zoo that haven't been renamed so far. For our female tapir, who is lying in the reeds right now, I guess, I'm gonna rename her Melati, which you guys said is a Malaysian flower and something that Malays often name their daughters, which is really cool. So that was a very popular suggestion. And for the little bubba that's with her, we're gonna have Tapioca, which is adorable. And then for our male, we're gonna have Hang Jabat, which you guys said was a famous Malaysian warrior, which is very cool. So thank you. I appreciate these suggestions. And yeah, especially popular suggestions we will definitely put into the zoo. Our female otter is going to be called Olivia. Our male otter is going to be called Peach. And they've got a little baby otter. I think I completely missed this, but look how adorable they are. Oh my goodness. They are so cute. I think, seeing as one of you suggested it and we just saw them playing with the bubbles, we have to call this one Bubbles. That's so cute. Look at them, the little face. For our tortoises, we're going to call our male tortoise Todd. And then for the ladies, we're going to have Tanya and Tilly, although she is hiding from us right now in the habitat camera. Look at her. She's having a little rest. She's had too much of us. Then for our Dama Gazelle, the oldest one is going to be called Anuket, who you guys said is the Egyptian goddess who took care of the gazelle and also the Nile River. So she's the perfect one to be like the alpha female of the group. Then we're going to have Nora, the gazelle. We're going to have Lily Skut. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Swedish and I'm definitely not. We're going to have Rasha, which is apparently Arabic for young gazelle, which is very cool. And then Dame, and round the back here, Duchess, which are also really cute names, seeing as it's Dama. And they're very elegant. And for our male, where is he? Where's our male gone? Hiding away from all the females. He's over here. He's literally on his own. That's hilarious. He's run away. And the male is going to be Kevin. He's running now. Kevin the male. And I'm not going to rename the rhinos in this video just because I only asked you again in the last video. And with the time I'm recording this, I haven't had comments from you guys yet for that. So we're going to leave these guys until maybe in a few videos time. We'll do another renaming and we'll rename the rhinos, hopefully including the baby. Because we're having them August of the year... Oh, the year 28. Okay, no, don't worry. The baby probably won't be here. You guys also mentioned that I missed their food troughs, which I 100% did. So let's put in a food trough for them. We've got black rhinoceros. They've got food enrichment, but they could probably do with like a medium food trough. That's, you know, if there's extra food, they'll put it in there. And I'm trying to think where these guys would want it. They're not really fazed by humans. So it makes sense to put it like right there near the entrance where it's convenient for the keeper as well. And probably in here. Could even move the mud bath slightly. So there. And then have the food be like here. And there's a little bit more space. And look, there's a talk going on in here. I think there's almost 2 talks going on in here. They're waiting for the next one. That's hilarious. We should probably set up work zones for them. I've just also realized that these stick through the walls, which I don't like. But I'll change that when we can. And they can handle the Diamondback Terrapins. Does that mean they're going to get one out? Oh my goodness, I hope they do. That is awesome. I don't know if we've joined too late or if they're going to do it while, like, if we've just caught on. I think it's the end of May, so I think they're done. They've probably put them back. No! Oh, well, I'm sure we'll see them in the future. That's amazing. Well, now they've had a little talk about them, let's see where our vet research is at. We've at least unlocked the first level of enrichment, so I'm going to put that in for these guys. And seeing as our educators are doing talks about them, I feel like maybe we should learn something about the Diamondback Terrapins. The northern Diamondback Terrapin is a small species of turtle that lives in the brackish and coastal swamps of the eastern and southern United States of America. It is characterized by its distinctive shell pattern of interlocking diamonds that tend to have concentric light and dark rings within them. However, pattern and coloration does vary within the species. The average shell length of males is 13 centimeters, whereas the average shell length of the female is 17 centimeters. The Diamondback Terrapin is therefore sexually dimorphic, as the males are significantly smaller than the females. Diamondback terrapins live in brackish water, which are areas where fresh water and seawater mix, but they require visits to freshwater to avoid dehydration. Diamondback terrapins have salt glands behind their ear which allow them to excrete excess salt that they accumulate from living near marine environments. That's so cool, isn't it? The concentric rings within the plates of the northern Diamondback terrapin shell are growth rings that form as the terrapin gets larger, kind of like a tree. Diamondback terrapins will tolerate other nearby terrapins as long as there is plenty of space, and they live well together and occasionally interact, although most social behavior occurs during the mating season. During the breeding season in early spring, the female will swim conspicuously on top of the water waiting for males to approach her. When a male approaches, the female may let him mate immediately or she may swim away. Males may chase females for long distances in an attempt to mate. When the female is ready to lay her eggs, she'll climb ashore onto a sandy beach, dig a nest 10 to 20 centimeters in the sand, and lay her eggs there. Then she leaves. The eggs hatch in late summer or early autumn, and the hatchlings are around 50 millimeters in size when they hatch, so they're tiny. Unfortunately, the Diamondback terrapins were considered a delicacy and almost hunted to extinction for their meat in the 19th century. And today, the Diamondback terrapin is a vulnerable species. Their populations went through a long period of overhunting, which brought them to the brink of extinction by the early 1900s. Increased urban development in the areas in which they live and lay their eggs also negatively affected their numbers. There is now protective legislation for the species in many of the states they inhabit, and their population has somewhat recovered, although it continues to be at risk. A current risk for Diamondback terrapins are commercial crab traps, in which terrapins often get caught and drown. So, although their population has recovered slightly, they are still vulnerable and they still need our help. And that's probably enough for this video. These adorable little guys, you can still see them in there like floating. That's probably enough for this video. We'll continue this in the next video and expand this building along. I want to get another few buildings going along this section. So I hope you enjoy that. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.